Friends, am I audible to you? Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And Kevin, you have not shared the PPT of second unit. I have shared everything. Please share the. I had sent you by mail. Have you received it or no, Kevin?
I had shared it among the group, not in the official but unofficial. I had shared it with everyone.
Now
Everyone has it.
unofficial, just share the PPT of second unit, na? Unofficial, because I can share them with L division. Huh?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Second unit, you could do it, no? Okay, share. Now I have given you the link. Let others to join who will try to present it. Otherwise, I'll run it. It is a YouTube link, and on that we have to work this lecture and next lecture. This is called as fifth classroom. Fifth classroom means at least 10 to 30% of the syllabus should be done by the student on their own self-study component, and they have to present in the classes. So since due to shortage of time, we'll utilize 2 lectures after today, but that extra lecture will manage this Friday. Last Friday it was my son's examination, online examination on the laptop from 8:30 to 10:30. So I could not take the extra lecture which I had committed to you. But this Friday, hopefully he is not having any exam, any paper on that day. So this Friday, 9:30, 9 to 10, we are going to take lecture. And one more lecture which we have, I think it is on Thursday. Within that 2 lectures, we'll finish the flipped classroom. Who is the CR of this? Yesterday I had a discussion with him, but I had forgot to ask his name. Who is the
I am Ashish.
is he present? Is he
Yes, ma'am.
Devashish Pawar ka?
No, ma'am. Ashish.
Ashish, what is your roll number, beta?
29.
I'll check. 30 sin, 22 sin, 18, 12, 2. Ashish, na? How you spell double A or A? Ashish? How you spell AASHISH, na? Nothing is reflected on your name.
Ma'am, ma'am,
1 minute. Yes,
ma'am, there's only one PPT of Unit 2, right? I've sent it on the group.
one PPT of?
Unit 2.
No, for different lectures, 6 lectures, 6 PPTs are there.
The other 5, they are private, means I don't have access to them.
Is it?
They need, it needs requested access.
Okay. Now you said your name is what?
Kevin Jose.
Huh?
Kevin Jose.
CR.
PR actually.
They mean juice. 1 minute. Earlier it was visible your name. Now why it is? Ashish Dherkar is 29. He is not
Yes,
the
ma'am.
CR, na?
He's a
I'm this year.
He's a CR.
Ashish.
29 is the CR?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will make you the host for the presentation. Let other student to come. And then how it should go. Next lecture, extra lecture, will be taking on Friday 9 to 10 as per my commitment. But this time we'll utilize for flipped classroom. Flipped classroom means the university or AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, is expecting at least 10 to 30% syllabus which should be prepared by student on their own and should be presented in the class. And we have to produce as and when they will ask for the proof for that. So now hereafter the LR and CR, are these different posts created or only CR is created? Up to last year, it was a tradition that the in charge boy was called as CR and in charge girl was called as LR, ladies representative. Is it like that this year or only one CR is there?
No,
Yes.
ma'am. We have only one CR and three BRs for three batches, M1, M2, and M3.
Okay. So this is a class work. So the CR and the 3BR, later on you will post me your name and batch of which you are the BR. You four take this combined responsibility of the PIP classroom. I will make the particular student a host. He or she will represent the application, and in one class minimum 6 to 7 such presentation should be there. The recording of that is the responsibility of the CR and the BR, 3BR and the CR. You distribute among yourself and then give me the recorded meetings, recorded minutes of the meetings for both Thursday lecture as well as Friday lecture. I will share it somewhere else, which we have to produce it as and when required to the All India Council for Technical Education. So today I have made the CR to present this. I have given the YouTube link. It is for about 50 minutes. Listen to it. After that, you will have to give only the attendance. Next two lecture, any one topic out of this, it is there on the WhatsApp also. Just read it. It will go slowly. Try to understand wherever you will find any difficulty. Please feel free to ask me. Not in today's class because it is for 51 minutes, but in the evening, anytime after 6 to 10, any times, any number of times, because these to 51 minutes and we have to take the attendance also. So, CR, are you ready to present this? I have given you the
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, I have given you the rights. Please.
Okay.
And
So I'm presenting now.
1 minute, we'll clap for the CR. 3 times shallow. We'll congratulate him. Everyone. Chalo 3 times. 1, 2. And for all the 3 BRs, for all the 3 BRs also we'll clap for them. Yes. Chalo. Yeah. Yes. Chalo. Now we'll start. Take a charge. First, Ashish, take a charge
Yes,
now.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Is it visible? I'm sharing
Yeah.
this.
1 minute. I'll minimize this message. You got it, this link, na? You don't need it now. Huh?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo, start karo. The voice is not coming.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
On part 2, that is on polymers. In previous lecture, we have discussed about specialty polymers.
Is it audible? Ma'am?
Make it little wider, louder.
Just a minute.
Voice is too low.
Make it little louder. Yeah. Okay, it may be.
Some polymers. Hello everyone. Welcome to lecture number 3 of Unit 2, Chemistry of Engineering Materials.
Make it still louder.
We are going to
Bro, 100% कर देना.
Kar do.
Yeah, just a minute. I'm doing it.
This is our senior staff in the VIIT. Aparna Kulkarni ma'am. She has done this recording for everyone. Okay,
Okay.
chalo.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the lecture number 3 of Unit 2, Chemistry of Engineering Materials. We are going to continue our discussion on part 2, that is on polymers. In previous lecture, we had discussed about specialty polymers, that is conducting polymers, liquid crystal polymers, electroluminescent polymers, and fiber reinforced polymers. In this particular section, we are going to consider application of polymers in construction industry, electronic industry, and mechanical industry, along with polymer recycling. So again, if you consider the objective, that is to understand the chemistry and relate it to properties and application. So here we are going to understand chemistry of polymers used in construction, electronic, and mechanical industry. So let's have a discussion on polymers which are used in construction, electronic, and mechanical industry. Let's start with polymers in construction industry. Polymer and polymer composites are widely used in structural components in civil engineering fields, building construction, bridges, highways, and expressways, airstrips, helipads, railway, unpaved roads, etc. The building and construction industry uses a variety of classic building material like metal, glass, wood, and stones. But classic materials are becoming increasingly important due to their outstanding performance and excellent desirable properties like high strength, low density, and less weight. Construction applications of plastic include pipes
Ma'am,
and guttering, window and door profiles, roofings,
Yes.
ceilings, and
excuse me, ma'am.
What happened?
मॅम
What
ते
happened?
आवाज बरोबर येत नाही मॅम.
सगळ्यांना म्यूट करायला सांग ना. If everyone will mute themselves, clear, you will be able to.
हे म्यूटच आहे मॅम सगळं.
नेटवर्क
muted
इश्यू तर नाही
आहे.
ना? नेटवर्क एकदा चेक कर, बाकीच्यांना येतोय वाटतं आवाज.
Yeah, it is clear enough. Mute everyone. That is why I muted myself.
Okay, then I'm starting it again.
cement, insulation, flooring, and building panels. Although there are many applications of polymers in construction industry, we are going to focus on three, that is polymers used in piping and conduit, cladding and profiles, and for insulation. Piping and conduit are the largest users of polymers in construction and consume about 35% of production, producing cabling, rainwater goods, large diameter pipes for sewage, drainage, and potable water made from PVC and polyethylene. So let us see PVC used for pipings and conduits. PVC stands for polyvinyl chloride. So vinyl chloride, that is carbon-carbon double bond with chlorine substitution, is a vinyl chloride. On polymerization will give polyvinyl chloride. Why this can be used for piping and conduits? That is because of their properties. The most important property of PVC are super fire retardancy, high ignition temperature, and relatively low heat release in burning. It has a high softening temperature, greater stiffness and rigidity as compared to polyethylene, but it is brittle. It presents strong resistance to oxidation, good chemical resistance to acids and alkali chemicals. Another material for piping and conduit is high density polyethylene, HDPE, where ethylene under low temperature, low pressure condition will produce high density polyethylene using Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Some of the favorite uses of HDPE include low pressure natural gas services, water distribution, and it is used as a lining material in carbon steel pipe. The following properties are responsible for it. High density polyethylene is highly resistant to chemical and corrosion. It has better tensile strength, higher softening temperature. The pipes are made from HDPE are manufactured using extrusion process. Density is 0.925 to 0.94. High impact resistance, abrasion resistance, easy to process, fabricate, weld and machine, and it is moisture resistant. Next major application of polymer in construction industry is for claddings and profiles. So we observe many a times that there are huge buildings and offices which are cladded, and there are architectural profiles which are actually built up many a times using this plastic material. These claddings and profiles for windows, doors, covering, and skirting, they are made up of unplasticized PVC, which is either shortly known as PVCU or UPVC. PVCU or UPVC, that is called as a unplasticized PVC. PVC stands for polyvinyl chloride. Previously, as we have seen, that it is prepared from polymerization of vinyl chloride. Now, what is the meaning of unplasticized PVC? When these PVC polymer chains are getting prepared, linked to each other by means of this hydrogen bond. As this chlorine is highly electronegative, there will be minus delta charge over here. Here for chlorine, there will be minus delta charge. And for hydrogen, there will be plus delta charge. So as there is a partial opposite charge, you get a dipole attraction over here, and because of which you get a formation of hydrogen bond. Now what happens because of this unplasticized PVC chains, they are held very strongly with respect to each other, and that is why we observe very good strength in this unplasticized PVC chain. So that reflects on the properties of unplasticized PVC chain. That is, UPVC is highly chemical resistant and used popularly for both residential as well as commercial purposes. UPVC has excellent chemical resistance, which eliminates the formation of limescale and provides a good flow characteristics. UPVC is odorless, tasteless, and is suitable for transport of processed water, wastewater, as well as for large number of chemicals. UPVC is tough and transparent and hard bearing material. UPVC is suitable for the use at temperatures ranging from 0 to 65 at wide range of operating pressures depending upon the selected system. It is resistant to UV rays but also resistant to rain and water. UPVC is recyclable and energy efficient, thus regarded as an environment-friendly option. UPVC doors and windows are waterproof and provide a high level of insulation. The doors and windows made up of UPVC are soundproof. They cut out all the unnecessary noise and sound, thus keeping the stress levels of all the time low. The UPVC doors and windows are easy to install as well as uninstall. Third major application of polymers in construction industry is for insulation. Many times it may happen so that we may use a galvanized roof sheet, that is galvanized iron sheets as the roof sheets, and this gets heated up in sun. So that is why the temperature of the roof increases very high, and for preventing that, for heat insulation purpose, we use insulation sheets. And these insulation sheets are made up of polymer like polystyrene. So insulation is generally produced from polystyrene rigid foam, also called as expanded polystyrene foam, shortly called as EPS, which is incorporated in panels or sandwiched into construction of walls and roofs. Insulation combines lightness and strength and is simple to install, and enables constructors to meet energy conservation regulations. It is applied in foundations, walls, and roofs. Expanded polystyrene foam, EPS. Basically, it is made up of polystyrene. Polystyrene is prepared from monomer styrene. Styrene, that is carbon-carbon double bond substituted with one of the benzene ring. So this styrene molecule on polymerization gives us polystyrene. Now, what is the meaning of expanded polystyrene foam and how do we get it? This involves heating of polystyrene either with steam which is the most common method, or hot air for high density foam, such as used for coffee mugs. This EPS foam, that is expanded polystyrene foam, is the most common in everyday life. This is white foam that can be seen in cups for hot beverages, refrigerators, insulation, packaging, etc. The foam plastic consists of 96 to 98% of air and 2 to 4% of polystyrene. Granules are heated with steam in such a way that they are rapidly expanding or foaming and forming a low density block that is in a special form. Insulation foam EPS is used for a variety of applications because of its excellent set of properties, including good thermal insulation, good damping properties, and being extremely lightweight. From being used as building material to white foam packaging, expanded polystyrene has a wide range of end-use applications. Expanded polystyrene insulation is a lightweight, rigid, closed-cell insulation. This closed-cell structure provides a minimal water absorption and low vapor permeance. So, if you consider properties of expanded polystyrene, it has low thermal resistance and insulation. It shows thermal resistance and insulation. It shows chemical inertness. It shows bacterial resistance. It shows excellent impact strength and dimensional stability. Now let us consider polymers for electronic industries. In this category, we are going to consider two, that is polymers for optical fibers and polymers used in light emitting diodes. Let us consider the first one, polymers for optical fibers. In case of electronic communication, the information was carried over in the form of microwaves and radio waves through copper wires and coaxial cables. But information carrying capacity of these wires is restricted due to limited bandwidth. If the light waves are used instead of radio waves and microwaves, the number of signals transmitted can be increased enormously. Communication using light waves cannot be done directly, but requires some guiding media, that is normally optical fibers, in which the information carrying light waves could be transmitted. Let us understand about optical fibers first. Optical fiber is flexible, transparent fiber made up of either silica, that is glass, or plastic, which is slightly thicker than a human hair. It is a form of guided non-conducting medium. Its working is based on total internal reflection. You all have learned in physics about reflection, refraction, and total internal reflection. So in optical fibers, we have a total internal reflection of light. That is a basic principle of working of optical fiber. It permits transmission over larger distance or longer distance and at higher bandwidth than the other forms of communication. Let us understand general construction of optical fiber. Consists of core, cladding, buffer, and jacket. Let us understand first about this core. Core is the innermost region, which is light guiding region with a higher refractive index than cladding. It is made up of either glass or a plastic. Then second is a cladding, that is covering core. It is made up of glass and plastic, and this is having a lower refractive index than the core. Then we have buffer, that is third layer. It protects core and cladding from moisture, abrasion, and give mechanical strength to the fiber. And lastly, we have a jacket, which holds one or more fibers in the cable. Now let us understand about polymer optical fibers, shortly called as POF. Polymer optical fiber, that is made up of polymer that transmit light for illumination or for data transfer. This light can be utilized through polymer core. So in this case, the core of optical fiber is made up of polymer. Polymer optical fibers are made up of low-cost plastic materials such as polymethyl methacrylate, shortly called as PMMA, polystyrene, polycarbonate, with their transmission windows in the visible range, that is 500 to 800 nanometer. So here it is extremely important that the polymers which are selected should be highly transparent and the transmission window should be in the visible range, that is 500, ranging from 500 to 800 nanometer. POFs are much safer and easier to handle and with greater resilience to bend, shock, and vibrations as compared to silica optical fiber, that is glass optical fibers, which must be handled very, very carefully and safely because it is containing glass core. For long distance links where the attenuation and dispersion effects are of prime importance, in that case, glass fiber core optical fibers are going to be superior. However, polymer optical fiber is advantageous for short distance networks which are less concerned with attenuation and more concerned with the flexibility, hazard-free handling, and low-cost installation. For short distance applications, multi-mode optical fiber with large core size is preferred over a single mode fiber. Conventional multi-mode silica glass fiber cannot have a large core size because large fiber becomes very brittle and inflexible. So what are the advantages of polymer optical fibers? These materials which a POF is made of is of low-cost polymers. Installation of polymer optical fiber with associated assemblies is not expensive. It is flexible and solid, able to bend without break. The network using of polymer optical fiber can be installed by untrained personnel. Polymer optical fibers are safe when installed in-house without risk to children in case of breakage. And that shows the compatibility with organic and biomedical materials. At the same time, it shows certain disadvantages, that is the signal attenuation and dispersion of polymer optical fibers are typically very high and hence it is limited to short distance, that is generally up to 100 meters. Polymer optical fibers cannot withstand the extreme high temperature and it does not show a long-term stability. So when it comes to the applications of polymer optical fibers, it is normally used for lighting for decoration purpose, inspection of mechanical welds in pipes and engines, aeroplanes, rockets, automobiles, etc. Medical applications such as endoscopy, bronchoscopy, laparoscopy, communication. In communication, it is used for short distance network purpose. For sensors, it is used as optical measurements of flow. Biosensors measures fluorescence produced by biological activity and it's collected and transmitted by fluid. This can be also used in moisture sensors. Then it is used in automobile for a number of electronic devices that are connected by polymer optical fibers. If we compare these polymer optical fibers with that of the glass fibers, then polymer optical fibers consist of polymer core, whereas glass fiber then this has wider core diameter, whereas glass will have a narrow core diameter. Polymer will have higher flexibility, they are lighter in weight, whereas glass will have a less resistance to the flexibility and accidental breakages chances are more. Then polymer optical fibers are less expensive, glass optical fibers are more expensive. Polymer optical fibers cannot sustain extreme temperature, whereas glass can sustain higher temperature. Polymer has a better signal strength, whereas glass fiber has a poor signal strength. Polymer is used for used in low speed, short distance application, whereas glass fibers are used in longer distance transmission with a higher speed. Polymer optical fibers, they are used in car network, home network, industrial network, whereas glass fibers, they are used in underground data transmission system. So major networking is done by glass optical fibers, But then when it comes to the household networking system or industrial networking system, then we can make use of a polymer optical fibers, which are safer to use, which can be easily bent, and there are less accidental injury chances. So after looking at what is optical fibers and how differently the materials can be used, let us understand the materials which are getting used in core material of polymer optical fibers. Materials to be used for polymer optical fibers should be having the following characteristics. Number one, it should be clear plastic with a good optical transmission quality for efficient optical transmission. Number two, it must be flexible and must be able to be drawn in long fibers. And number three, cladding in the core material should have a slight difference in refractive index to satisfy the total internal reflection. Let us consider the first material, that is polymethyl methacrylate, shortly called as a PMMA. The material most frequently used for fabrication of POF is thermoplastic polymethyl methacrylate, better known as plexiglass or acrylic glass or acrylite. Advantages of this material is it has high resistance to UV light and weathering, and it has got an excellent light transmission. Polymethyl methacrylate is a polymer which is used by which is formed by polymerization of monomer, that is methyl methacrylate. By opening of the double bond, the monomer will get linked to each other to form a long polymer chain of polymethyl methacrylate. Polymethyl methacrylate is used as a core with refractive index 1.49. Generally, the fiber cladding is then made up of silicone resin, which has got a slight lower refractive index, that is 1.46. High refractive index difference is maintained between core and cladding. High mechanical flexibility. This PMA polymethyl methacrylate polymer optical fibers have high mechanical flexibility and low cost, and bandwidth is going to be very high, that is about 5 megahertz per kilometer at about 650 nanometer. The second material used over here is a polystyrene. Polystyrene is a thermoplastic homopolymer which is made up of styrene. Polystyrene is used as a core with refractive index 1.59. Generally, the fiber cladding should have a lower refractive index, so we can use silicone resin with a refractive index 1.46 or polymethyl methacrylate with a refractive index 1.49. Since polystyrene is transparent, inexpensive, and available in large quantity, a use of polymer optical fiber seems to be profitable. Although PS fibers have advantages like decreased water uptake and a higher refractive index, that is 1.59, and theoretically lower attenuation limit between 600 to 700 nanometer wavelength compared to polymethyl methacrylate polymer optical fibers, their commercial success is limited. The mechanical characteristics and superior chemical resistances of polymethyl methacrylate might be responsible for this. However, for special applications such as fluorescent fibers or sensing materials like pH sensors, scintillators, etc., pH polymer optical fibers are commonly getting used. Fluorescent optical fibers that are made up of polystyrene. Fluorescent fiber is used for archery and gun sights, also crafts and hobbies. The fiber is made from polystyrene surrounded by a clear acrylic plastic, that is polymethyl methacrylate. Special fluorescent dye are added to the core where they absorb UV light and emit visible light. Light is reflected within the core and is reflected to the edges. Now let us consider second application of polymers in electronics, and that is in polymer light emitting diode, that is PLD. Electroluminescence from conjugated polymers was first reported using polyphenylene vanillin, that is PPV, as a single semiconducting layer between metallic electrodes. Polyphenylene vanillin PPV is a conducting polymer with conjugated pi system, as you can see in this particular figure. This has been partially also discussed in electroluminescent polymers. So why this PPV is used as a material for light emitting diode? That is, PPV has very low intrinsic electrical conductivity, that is about 10 to 13 Siemens per centimeter. The electrical conductivity increases upon doping with iodine, ferric chloride, alkali metals. We have seen about P doping and N doping. So same applies over here. PPV is water insoluble, but its precursor can be manipulated in aqueous solution, so that becomes easy to apply. It gives a bright yellow-green fluorescence on application of electric field. As a material, PPV has several advantages over classic inorganic light emitting semiconductors. Number one, the ease of processing of PPV permits its spread onto large area and curved surface. PPV shows tensile strength and elastic modulus as high as aramid fibers. This helps the polymer to service under harsh conditions, preventing during device operation, prevailing during the device operation. So basic polymer LED construction we have already considered in electroluminescent polymers, which can be used for organic LED or polymer LED. So we have glass plate, transparent glass plate or plastic substrate. Over that we have a transparent anode, that is indium tin oxide, ITO. Over that we'll be having a layer of light emitting polymers such as PPV. And then we will be having cathode, which is either made up of aluminum, calcium or magnesium. So here when we apply potential at anode and cathode, holes are inserted from anode, that is positive charge inserted from anode, and negative charge, that is electrons, are inserted from cathode. So these positive and negative charge, they are going to travel in this conducting polymer layer, that is PPV, where the recombination of these charges normally towards cathode, because positive charge or holes, they move more faster as compared to electrons, and so these will move towards cathode, and then the recombination takes place near to the cathode, and as recombination takes place, the energy is emitted in the form of light, and this light is going to pass through these two transparent layers, and then this light could be visible to us. Normally this PPV is going to give us blue-green light, but then yellow-green light. But then if you want another colors, then the derivatives of PPV can be used as a middle layer. Due to stability, processability, and electrical and optical properties, PPV is used in organic light emitting diode, that is OLED. So this device is based on the PPV as an emissive layer emit yellow-green fluorescent light. For different colors, derivatives of PPV can be used. Now let us consider polymers for mechanical industry. We are going to consider two applications. That is, actually mechanical industry is a vast industry, and in many applications polymers are getting used. But we have focused two industries which are very commonly considered for polymer applications, and that is polymers for automobile, and very recently a large expanding industry, that is 3D printing industry. So we will be considering the use of polymers in this 3D printing. Let us first consider polymers for automobile, and in that the first category is polycarbonate. Polycarbonate is normally made up of two different materials, that is bisphenol A, that is two phenol molecules connected by carbon, which has got methyl substitution. This is then polymerized with diphenyl carbonate. It's a condensation polymerization, and it forms a polycarbonate chain. This amorphous polycarbonate polymer offers a rare combination of stiffness, hardness, and toughness. It shows excellent weathering and creep and impact optical, electrical, thermal property, and UV resistance, with the transparency levels almost good as acrylic. So acrylic plastics normally they undergo yellowing, but there's this polycarbonate, if you consider, they will be having less tendency to yellow, and therefore for their excellent transparency characteristics, this can be used in bumpers, headlamps, lenses, security screens, aircraft panels, etc. Next we have, that is ABS, stands for acrylonitrile butadiene styrene plastic. This is a copolymer, or we can say this is a tricopolymer, because three monomers are involved in it. that is acrylonitrile, and then butadiene and styrene. So this will just open up their double bond and get linked to each other. As you know, butadiene, after opening their two double bonds, we get one double bond in between. So when they get linked to each other with the three different monomers getting linked to each other to form polymers, so this is a copolymer, and since three are involved, we call it as a tricopolymer. Acrylonitrile butadiene styrene tricopolymer is durable thermoplastic. It is a copolymer built by polymerization of styrene, acrylonitrile, and in presence of polybutadiene. This styrene gives the plastic a shiny and impervious surface. Butadiene, a rubbery substance, provides a resilience at low temperature. A variety of modifications can be made to improve this impact resistance, toughness, heat resistance, weather, and some chemical resistance. Applications: polymer can be used for automobile body parts, dashboards, wheel covers, manufacture of housings, covers, and linings. Next, we have use in automobile industry, that is polyamides, that is nylon 6,6, nylon 6. You have already learned this preparation in 12th standard. That is nylon 6,6 prepared from adipic acid and hexamethylene diamine. Nylon 6 prepared by caprolactam, forming polycaprolactam. Then common polyamides such as nylon 6,6 or nylon 6 can be used for this. It is a general purpose nylon that can be both molded and extruded. Nylon 6,6 has a very good mechanical properties and wear resistance. They are frequently used when a low cost, high mechanical strength, rigid and stable material is required. They also absorb water easily and components in wet or humid conditions and will expand. The main applications of polyamide is a manufacture of parts which are under the engine hood, mainly using types of polyamide reinforced by fiberglass. So these are mainly getting used in gears, bushes, cams, bearings, waterproof coatings, etc. Next, we have PVC, that is polyvinyl chloride, which is made up of vinyl chloride. This is a material used in automobile industry for manufacture of protection from the bottom floor, for the bottom floor in the car, for internal lining and coating of electrical cables in vehicles. Polyvinyl chloride can be molded in various ways such as injection molding, compression molding, blow molding to form a huge variety of products, either rigid or flexible. That depends upon the amount and the type of plasticizers we use. In earlier case for construction industry, we have considered unplasticized PVC, where we are taking PVC after manufacturing as it is. So if you remember that in PVC chains, we have a hydrogen bonding. So when we use certain chemicals which can weaken this hydrogen bonding, then in that case, the polymer, that is PVC, which was earlier very hard and stiff, now that becomes soft. And such soft polymers, PVC, can be used for a variety of applications in automobile, which is flexible in nature. Okay. Now, the material or the chemical which is used for weakening this hydrogen bond, this is called as a plasticizer. And this amount of plasticizer will decide that how much flexibility we can bring, because more is a plasticizer, more number of hydrogen bonds will be broken in that case. So when we consider this plasticized PVC, it has a very good resistance to the chemical and solvent attack. Its vinyl content gives a good tensile strength. PVC has good flexibility. It's flame retardant and has a good thermal stability with a high gloss. And this can be applied in automobile instrument panels, sheathing of electrical cables and door parts. Next we have, that is polyurethane. Polyurethanes are normally made up of reaction with that of the diisocyanate with diols. Diols or sometimes polyols, that is where number of hydroxyl groups in the monomer chains are more than 2, then this is considered as polyols. So as shown in this particular particular reaction, we may have a polyurethane linkages with the NH-C double bond O linkage. These polyurethanes basically are large family of polymers with a wide range of properties and uses all based on the reaction products of organic isocyanate with compounds containing hydroxyl group. So it depends upon which type of isocyanate group we are choosing or which type of diisocyanate we are choosing and which type of polyalcohol or diol we are choosing. Polyurethanes may be thermosetting or thermoplastic. That again depends upon the raw material which we are using for polymer preparation. So it really depends upon which type of isocyanate and which type of alcohols we are using for preparation of polyurethanes. Principal applications are in coating, elastomers, foams, etc. Polyurethane
Yes, what happened? Yes, what happened? Hello, what happened to the presentation? CR, Ashish, Ashish, Ashish.
Ma'am, CR is no longer a participant.
Someone else take a charge. I'll make you host. He left out from the meeting.
There is
Yes.
some network issue. That's why I'm left out. I will share it again.
Okay. Not from the beginning. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please, can you allow me to share my screen?
You have not given me the rights of. Let me check. Okay. Minute. Ashish.
Ma'am, it is saying that it's not allowing me to share the screen.
Yeah.
I'm making post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you can.
Okay.
You can do it now. You are the host. Ashish.
Yes, ma'am.
made up of
Why the number of
polymer.
students are less today?
Consider polymer
Sorry.
methyl methacrylate, that is acrylic plastic, which is made up of methyl methacrylate. We have already discussed about this reaction. Polymethyl methacrylate or PMMA is a transparent thermoplastic material. It is often used as a lightweight and shatter resistance alternative to glass and good UV and weather resistance. So high optical clarity is a basic property of polymethyl methacrylate, as you have already learned it under polymer optical fibers, where the core can be made up of polymethyl methacrylate. It has also got a good surface finish with a huge color range. is cheaper than polycarbonate, but it's more prone to scratching and shattering. So polymethyl methacrylate is mostly used in light windows, displays, and screens. This particular picture is just to indicate that how different polymeric materials are getting used in different parts of automobile, especially a car. Next, we are category of mechanical application we are having, that is polymers used for 3D printing. Let us first understand what is called as a 3D printing. 3D printing technology is an emerging additive manufacturing technology. Now, the normal manufacturing process for any of the product, we are using subtractive manufacturing technology. That is, suppose if I want to have a sheet fitted to some machine, then I'll take a plain sheet, then I'll cut the corners as per the requirement. I'll cut that sheet into particular size. Then I'll make 4 holes for screwing up and then fit that sheet into particular machine part. So this is called as a subtractive technology because I am going to subtract material in order to fit into that particular product component. So in that case, when we consider this additive manufacturing, it is something different that we'll be designing that particular product according to our requirement and then just get it done by adding part by part the material into it and get that parts compiled in the required design. So 3D printing is one of them where the material is getting printed according to our requirement. So 3D printing technology is called as an additive manufacturing technology because we are not removing any part from it. Instead, layer by layer, we are going to add it and make that component. So 3D printing technology is an emerging additive manufacturing technology that enables the design and rapid manufacturing of materials with complex microstructure. Developments in 3D printing have allowed manufacturing companies to expand from design and 3D printing of prototype to the rapid manufacturing of end products. Additive manufacturing enables the manufacturing of components in layer by layer fashion, opposite to common manufacturing methods that rely on machining, molding, that is subtractive methods, to obtain the final product. It uses computer-aided design software that allows for the design of virtual objects. Considering mechanical and chemical properties, polymers are most used materials for 3D printing. Polymers used for 3D printing involves thermoplastics, thermosets, elastomers, polymers with incorporated fillers and other additives. So just like we have considered fiber reinforced plastic, FRP. So such FRP materials can also be used for 3D printing materials. The specific design and choice of polymer can lead to the material with enhanced functionalities, mechanical properties, porosity, and stability. Now let us consider process of 3D printing. Since 1980s, 3D printing has become very popular as a result of rapid manufacturing of components with architectures designed to meet specific applications. 3D printing allows for manufacturing of a variety of shapes in layer by layer fashion, often without a need of post-processing such as machining. The computer controls the stage and the dispenser of 3D printing, allowing prototype to be manufactured. Now let us understand what type of polymers are getting used in 3D printing industry. Polylactic acid, that is PLA, polycarbonate, that is PC, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene, that is ABS plastic, polyether ester ketone, that is PEEK, and nylons are common polymers or plastics that are processed by heating to a semi-liquid state close to their melting point, so that we can put it layer by layer in this molten state, and then after cooling this is solidified into that particular object. Particularly polymers in pure state lack mechanical strength for load-bearing applications. The addition of fillers such as silica, carbon fibers, etc. is often used to generate materials with high mechanical strength. Let us understand first material used for 3D printing, that is ABS, acrylonitrile butadiene styrene. As discussed earlier, it's a tricopolymer. That is, it is made up of three different types of monomers: acrylonitrile, that is carbon double bond substituted with cyanide, then butadiene, and then styrene. Then double bonds get opened up, they get linked to each other to form this tricopolymer. This thermoplastic polymer is what is called as a terpolymer or tricopolymer, and is obtained most often by polymerization of acrylonitrile and styrene in presence of polybutadiene. Generally 20% of acrylonitrile, 25% of butadiene, and 55% of styrene. Manipulating these properties can be these properties can therefore modify the properties of ABS. Styrene, for example, is element that gives ABS rigidity and brilliance, while butadiene will give impact resistance and low temperature properties. The use of heating plate between 80 to 130 degrees Celsius is mandatory because ABS plastic shrinks on contact with air, causing a part to shrink or warp and thus detaching itself from the plate. 3D printer with closed enclosure is preferable because ABS plastic emits particles that can be dangerous for the users. ABS loaded with carbon fibers or aramid fibers, that is Kevlar, that reduces warping phenomena of ABS and provides greater precision. Another very popular material used for 3D printing is polylactic acid. Polylactic acid, PLA, is also known as polylactides. It is a thermoplastic made of renewable sources such as cornstarch, tapioca roots, or sugar cane by fermentation, unlike the industrial materials made primarily from petroleum. In this case, the nature product is ground to separate the. In this case, the natural product is ground to separate the starch from corn, mixing it with acid or lactic monomers. With this mixture, the starch is broken into dextrose, that is D-glucose or corn sugar, and finally this glucose is fermented, produces glucose on fermentation produces lactic acid, the basic component of PLA, that is polylactic acid. It is then preferred choice for beginners in 3D printing. It is often a preferred choice for beginners in 3D printing as it is very easy material to work with. Properties: PLA is considered as semi-crystalline polymer, has melting temperature of 180 degrees Celsius, lower than ABS filament. It starts melting between 200 degrees Celsius and 600 degrees Celsius. This means that when printing with PLA, the use of heated printing bed is not necessary, and closed chamber is also not necessary, like we use it for ABS. The only drawback is PLA filament has higher viscosity, which can clog the print head if you are not very careful. This filament does not have the mechanical properties as that of the ABS filament. It shows lesser resistance and flexibility than ABS. However, PLA has a great resistance to heat, and so it is often used in food industry. PLA has the benefit of being biodegradable, unlike ABS. It is manufactured using renewable raw materials such as cornstarch. PLA is one of the easiest material to print, though it does not have a tendency to shrink slightly after 3D printing. Therefore, though it does have a tendency to shrink slightly after 3D printing, therefore do not require a heated platform when printing in PLA, unlike as that of the ABS. PLA also prints at lower temperature than ABS, that is between 190 to 230 degrees Celsius. PLA is more difficult material to manipulate due to its high cooling and solidification speed. It is also important to mention that models can deteriorate when in contact with water. However, the material is consistent, simple to use, and comes in wide variety of colors, making it suitable for 3D printing. So if you consider these polymers which are getting used in 3D printing, their general applications can be in biomedical engineering applications. 3D printing is used to fabricate hard tissues like bones, teeth, cartilage, and soft tissues like organs, skins, etc. 3D printing allows for rapid manufacturing of customized prosthetics and implants with controlled architectures. ABS and PLA are the most suitable polymer used for manufacturing of scaffolds. In aerospace industry, aerospace applications typically require lightweight and high-strength material. The aerospace industry has replaced the conventional manufacturing methods of molding and machining with 3D printing technology for small-scale production. The main use of 3D printing has been focused on prototyping, modeling, and producing jigs, fixtures, and tools. Recently, NASA designed a rover named as Desert Rise that can support humans in pressurized cabin in space. The rover is intended to transport human beings to Mars, and it contains about 70 3D printed parts that include flame retardant vents and housings, camera mounts, large pod doors, front bumpers, complex electronics, and others. In electronics, these 3D components can also be used, 3D printed components can be used. Electronic devices require suitable mechanical, geometrical, and optical functionalities to allow for miniaturizing, low energy consumption, and smart capabilities. The conventional method for manufacturing electronic devices is using subtractive methods that involves masking and etching of materials. 3D printing is being used to substitute these steps for mounting and assembling electronic devices. The additive process of 3D printing deposits material in a controlled layer by layer, allowing the manufacturing of complex geometries and dimensions. Along with miniaturization, 3D printing allows the manufacturing of small parts that would otherwise be very difficult to obtain. 3D printing has found applications in thin films, inductors, solar cells, and others. The most common 3D printing techniques for electronics are inkjets and direct writing conductive inks. The stretchable conducting inks is made of thermoplastic polyurethane, that is TPU. A flexible plastic is mixed with silver flakes, and this particular component is made. So here are some pictures showing this inkjet inks and the 3D printed links which are getting used in electronics. These are some reference books for this content. You can also Google it for different applications of different types of polymers in construction industry, electronic industry, and mechanical industry as well. So to summarize, this is the output of today's content. We have seen polymers and polymer composites that are widely used in structural components in civil engineering fields, building construction, bridges, highways, expressways, constructions, airstrips, helipads, railway, and paved roads. For piping and conduit, we have seen PVC and HDPE. For cladding and profiles, we have considered unplasticized PVC, whereas expanded polystyrene for insulation. For electronic industries, we have considered polymers for optical fibers and polymers for light emitting diode. Polymer for optical fibers compared with glass fibers. Advantages and disadvantages of POF are discussed. Optically clear polymers like polymethyl methacrylate and polystyrenes are discussed for using it in optical fibers. PPV based organic LED or polymer LED construction and the mechanism is discussed. Polymer used for automobiles and 3D printing are discussed in polymers for mechanical industry. PC, that is polycarbonate, ABS, nylon, PVC, polyurethane, polymethyl methacrylate have been discussed in automobile applications, whereas ABS and PLA, that is acrylonitrile, butadiene styrene, and polylactic acid have been discussed in 3D printing section. So we are going to discuss about polymer recycling and nanomaterials. So polymer recycling is the part left from polymer part, that is part 2, and then will be followed by part 3, that is nanomaterials.
Please give me. Thank you, Ashish. Please give me the charge of the host.
Yes, ma'am.
I will share the attendance sheet. Thank you very much for quiet listening. Now, how we are going to proceed? make me host beta, Ashish.
Just a minute.
Now how we are going to proceed. So Friday one lecture and one regular lecture will be flip classroom. Attendance is compulsory. Otherwise the marks will be deducted. And in addition to that, we have to take the assignment one on the unit one. It will be for 10 marks. 6 marks question will be MCQ type. It will be 6 marks. 6 question will be of 1 mark each, and 2 question will be of 2 marks each. All 8 questions are MCQ type. So keep prepared. In this week itself, Friday's lecture will have a flip classroom, and in that last 10 minutes we have a test. And the regular lecture which we have after this, there also we will have flip classroom. Then everyone will prepare one application. In a group it will do, but one will present, make the slide, and explain it correctly. Everyone will run 1 or 2 slides and will explain that application. And CR with 3 BRs, they will record the minutes, and they will share the recordings with me. We have to produce it to AICT. Now I will share the attendance sheet for today's class. Don't leave the class. Try this, and I'm giving one more. This is for M division. Last time it was not worked out, so I will give one more. Give the attendance and then only leave the class. Try it if it is working, otherwise try this link for both of you. Both the links, try the first one, earlier one. Whether it works or not, tell me. Huh? The 2 links I have given you, try both. Try one first if it is working. Use your VIIT mail ID. If it is not working, then try this one. Chalo fast. And Friday 9 to 10 extra lecture, and our regular lecture, one assignment of 10 marks. It will not be conducted later. It is compulsory there in our syllabus. So next lecture hour is on Wednesday. Wednesday 1:30. We will have the flip classroom. Everyone will come prepared. I am not going to listen to you that you have bunked the lecture for one or other reason. Do it fast and come prepared for Wednesday as well as Friday. Friday we will be taking extra CR and all the 3 BRs. Congratulations again. And now you will help me to carry out the flip classroom. Recordings will be shared with me, and I will upload these on YouTube. I'll share the link also for flip classroom on YouTube, so that you can show your participation there to your beloved ones, your parents, the teachers from your earlier college, etc. Are you through, everyone? Attendance? Are you through with the attendance? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Don't bunk the lecture on Wednesday.